On the field, that's one of the things I know everybody wants to talk about. You know, this year it's been very educational as we've been out talking to players with a new format. You know, some of the guys are used to just clicking and they're entered into a tournament as an individual, and unfortunately, you know, with the change was announced in November and how things work for the tour, you know, players have had to pick up the phone to call to commit, and you know, when they're on the range or whatever, they pull it up. Oh, I can't click. I'll just do it later. And so a lot of them have put it off. We clearly we're hoping to have. Yeah, we're very happy with where we are, but and we have a lot more guys that impactful guys that we expect to come in here very soon. Obviously, Augusta even changes that again because everybody's so focused on that. But you know, I think guys will learn with time how to commit. You know, how the process works. I mean, we've had an incredible number of questions from guys who they aren't sure who can I pick as a partner. How you know, am I going to be eligible to be able to pick my own partner? Or if I'm lower down the list, do I need to rely on a higher ranked guy to pick me? It's the 80 in the 80 teams. The eligibility is based on the higher ranked player of the two. So when Jason picks Ricky, they're both in that top 80, so now the number moves down one. And when Justin Rose and Henrik Stenson, now the number moves down one. So it's, yeah, it's been educational. Guys have been learning how the process works. They, you know, I don't think they read everything that they get from the tour or from us, but they're starting to figure it out. But, you know, we've got 4 of the top 10 players in the world right now. We're excited about that. All of those teams have been announced. Today, we will announce, we've got 2 other teams we'll announce. Tyrrell Hatton, a young man from England. Tyrrell is now ranked 15th in the world. He has earned his PGA Tour temporary membership in 4 events this year, so that obviously takes some very, very good play. If you look, he last April he was 121 in the world. He was 14th last week, and then he dropped a spot this week to 15. But to be 15th in the world in anything is pretty incredible. He's been on a great run. He's won in Europe. He seemingly contends every week that he plays. So we're happy to have Tyrrell here. He's going to partner with Jamie Donaldson. Jamie has a relationship with Zurich. You know, Jamie rose into the top 30 in the world 2 years ago. He's had some injury problems. He didn't keep his PGA Tour card because he didn't play enough events last year because of the injury. A lot of people remember Jamie for hitting the winning shot in the Ryder Cup in 2014. He stuck one in there about a foot to close out a singles match and clinch the cup for Europe. So Jamie's played here the last several years, and we're happy to get him back. I think that's going to be a fun team. They're represented by the same management group, so they're very good friends. Jamie is 40 and Tyrrell's 25, so he's been a mentor to Tyrrell along the way. And as his agent told me, they are both very big fans of the Liverpool Football Club. So they have a lot of things in common. And you know, as we go forward and all the teams get announced, and I know the PGA Tour really wants to focus, there are a lot of interesting stories about how guys get partnered up. You know, I've heard it on the range. This guy was my college roommate. You know, there are so many different stories. And I know those are things that the PGA Tour is going to focus on during tournament week. So we'll see more of those come out. Another team we have to announce, Russell Knox and Kevin Streelman. Russell is currently 23rd in the world. He rose up to 18 about 6-8 weeks ago, and he's currently 23 in the world. He's won twice on the PGA Tour. He won a World Golf Championship, the HSBC Champions. He also won the Travelers in Connecticut. He's playing with Kevin Streelman. Kevin's a long-time, very successful PGA Tour player. He's got a couple of wins. Kevin won in Tampa, and I think he also won in Hartford at Travelers. You know, I think everybody's aware of, you know, obviously Jason Day and Ricky Fowler, Henrik Stenson and Justin Rose, Bubba Watson and J.B. Holmes, Justin Thomas, who's top 10 in the world with Bud Cauley. You know, Jason Duffner is a past champ coming back with Pat Kazire. Billy Horsch is a past champ coming back with Matt Every. Lou Oosthuizen and Brandon Grace, both in the top 25, 26 in the world. First time for the both of them, so we're excited about them. They were 4-0 in the last President's Cup as a team, so it should be one of those teams that would be fun to watch. And, you know, well, I'm impatient. I know that we've got a number of very impactful teams that have told the PGA Tour they're playing have said they're playing and just hadn't made it official yet. So really looking forward to getting those names out, but you can count on those releases going out as soon as we get word. You know, we're very happy with where the field is now, but if the guys who say they are coming become official, I think we'll safely say this will be the best field we've had in a very, very long time, if not ever. So looking forward to a big year. If there are any questions I can answer, please let me know.
Steve, do both people who win the event, are they automatically into the opening round, opening event next year in the Masters? They both get in?
It's an official win, so they get. They would get into the tournament, the event in Hawaii, the opening season. They would get in the PGA Championship, all of the invitationals. Currently, they are not. They would not be exempt at Augusta yet. You know, Augusta for this year, since Augusta has played before us, we feel like in some of the conversations they're waiting to see what the field is going to look like, and if we have the strength of field that we expect to have here, they're going to look up and say, you know, yes, two winners against that field would be very worthy of being in Augusta, you know, quite possibly already in Augusta. So,
Steve, how long is the two-team format? Is that a long-term commitment? Is it are you doing it on an exploratory type thing, or what?
But right now it extends out through the remainder of our Zurich contract, which is 2019. Okay. So you know, we would play it through 2019, assuming it all goes well, and we certainly like where it's headed. We would plan on renewing Zurich. We will start renewal discussions with Zurich after the event, you know, we plan on continuing the format.
Steve, just a follow-up to that. How did this develop? I mean, did you propose it? Did they propose it? Has it been in the working stages? And then two, what are the dynamics other than the novelty of the new format? Is it an economic change? Is it just, you know, would you discuss that?
Sure. Well, you know, I mean, after every event, we regroup and talk about what can we do better, how can we make the event better. You know, we do player surveys. We talk to Zurich, their agency, the PGA Tour, and in some of those brainstorming about, you know, there's a lot of competition. There are a lot of great events on the PGA Tour, and how do we differentiate ourselves? How do we become better? And you know, after that meeting, you know, there were a lot of things thrown around without any real definitive solutions, and you know, got back together, and this was one of the, you know, we were throwing around all kinds of different ideas, and this is what came out of it. So you know, when the tour, as we talked about it and as it progressed, you know, the tour didn't really want it to be at the very beginning or the very end of the FedEx Cup season. So because we're close to the middle, because they're comfortable with the way that our foundation runs a golf tournament, you know, Zurich is obviously a very big part of that. All of those factors, you know, led them to offering it to us. And it is, you know, when it came out as an idea, what do you think about it? Mm-hmm. And we said, yeah, you know, we'd be happy to take it on. You know, I think just because of the excitement, you can hear Jason say some of the things that he did about field, we're going to attract some people that we've never gotten before. And, you know, I've talked to a number of players this year who might have a conflict, who have said, I love the idea, and I really want to come next year. So, you know, I feel like it's going to continue to impact our field longer term. I think it's going to be educational. Guys are going to see the whole, I mean, you know, I talked to different players, and at the beginning of the year, almost every one of them, one of the goals of their season is to make the whatever international team event is played that year, President's Cup or Ryder Cup. So, you know, finding that so many of them have not played in alternate shot, I think that's just going to be a motivating factor for them. You know, we know that the teams, the team captain, Stricker's playing. Nick Price has talked about coming down for this year's President's Cup. President's Cup captain has talked about coming here. It's going to have some impact, I think, on those teams. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a long-term positive. I think it's going to attract more spectators, hopefully more sponsors, and as it becomes more established, it just allows us to make more money and distribute more money to children's charities, which ultimately is our goal.
Steve, was Watson coming anyhow, or do you think the team deal kind of helped get him back here?
I think it was a combination. I mean, we talk to him every year. You know, I mean, we're the closest event to his hometown. His mom has pressured him about that before. He's had great success here. So, you know, we talk to him every year. I think it was a combination, but you know, certainly I think that the team aspect was a big part of it. And you know, when I'm not sure, you know, in talking to a lot of different people, I'm not sure Bubba or JB was the first thought of who he would have ended up pairing with. But I think it's gonna be a great partnership, so.
Do you think you have to educate the fans about it, or how it's gonna work out for them? I mean, probably a lot of them watch the Ryder Cup this year.
I think we will, and I think, as we continue to go forward, we'll push it all out and try to make sure that people understand it. I mean, that's a good, this year's Ryder Cup, like I said earlier, the Ryder Cup was my first event in golf. Did the US Open for 15 years, and the intensity of the Ryder Cup, there's nothing like it. And I thought, last year's at Hazeltine was unlike anything else and create some opportunities. So I think being associated with those events is a very positive thing from the team standpoint. And I think people who don't get it, a lot of people will probably buy tickets not understanding the format necessarily, but knowing that wow, I've never seen those guys before, I've never seen him before. So I think it'll over time it'll all work itself out where they understand exactly how the format works and that they get to see better players.
Brian said you have to educate the media. Maybe him.
It's gonna be fun.
Piggybacking on that with the Ryder Cup and just how much excitement went into that, maybe some kind of new golf fans saw that, and then obviously you have tournaments like the Waste Management at the start of the year. You feel like this kind of trying to make the tour a little bit newer and exciting, and New Orleans being able to benefit from that. Is there a little bit of a change in kind of setting and scenery that they're going after? Did you get that feeling from the PGA Tour when they awarded it to you?
Yeah, I think as Jason said, we're all talking about growing the game and making sure that the game sustains and younger people are into it and they like it. And the European PGA Tour has experimented with a few different formats. They had a 6-hole format tournament that they did, and I think the PGA Tour understands, and the players have pushed, and as we can tell from the reaction of the players, they are embracing the idea of doing something different. I agree with Jason. I don't think you're going to see 5 or 6 different unique formats, but I could certainly see you end up with 2 or 3 that are a little different. That's just my own opinion. But I think the tour understands that we've got to keep doing things fresh and drawing new people into the game, and hopefully this is going to do that. And as it attracts more people here to our golf tournament, it creates more opportunities to build venues and make sure that they have a great viewing experience. Our surveys have been very, very good, that people come enjoy themselves, and as we introduce more people, I think it allows us to create new opportunities of different things we can do.
When you've talked to some of the golfers who have committed, is there a sense that as Jason said, the season is long? Does this kind of give people a break to kind of maybe exhale a little bit and have a little fun?
I think so. In talking to a lot of them, we help, the PGA Tour has a group that does childcare, for example. And we're looking at childcare numbers, and you're wondering, it sounds like a lot of guys are going to just come without their families, and it's going to be a buddies trip, and they're going to enjoy New Orleans as 2 guys, and it won't necessarily be a family weekend. I think a lot of guys are excited. I've talked to guys who've already plotted out, I thought about asking Jason, I didn't go there, who plotted out, the way the holes lay out here, it's better for a shorter, straighter hitter and a good iron player to play the odd number holes, and a lot of the even number holes fit better for the bomber. And I've already talked to a number of players, we've already got it scoped out, we're going to do that. I think, as he said, there's going to be a lot of strategy involved, but just because it's new and different, and guys will have a chance to rely you'll really rely on them to pick you up in best ball. You're really relying on them not to put you in a bad spot, an alternate shot. But yeah, I think because it's so new, they're going to, they seem to embrace it. It's going to be fun.
Good.